Know the gang, know the gang, know the gang. Where my notification gang at? If you part of notification gang, hit me up in the comment section and we can chop it up after this video. So we're back in the Arizona Cardinals. I say we're back, but like the last 2-3 offensive videos have been from the Cardinals offense. So it's not like we're really back, we're just going into it. But today I'm going to show you guys another little scheme that I use in the red zone and how I score on the goal line. Obviously, I have a passing plays that we can get into, and you guys already know some of the concepts. I go into like the tight formations and go ahead and put streaks and then hitch routes and curls and all that stuff. But this one's going to come from the strong tight formation. And the way I set up my audibles is I'll have a toss out there. You can obviously change these around to wherever you want to, but normally for me, toss will be square, dive will be triangle, and then L1 will be power O, and then PA tight end cross the pass play I come out in, and I always come out in the counter weak. So we're going to go ahead and come out there in a counter week, and I'll show you guys the reads that I'll make in order to go ahead and get this play popping. So we're just going to start off against random play. If you're new to this channel and you end up finding this video useful, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. So when I come across the goal line set, as you can see here, goal line, I will always toss, you know what I'm saying? Unless sometimes you can hit the dive up the middle, but I would rather, instead of just getting cracked by a defensive lineman, sometimes you're able to weave your way through. I normally hit the toss, and this toss is pretty good against goal line. So you go ahead and toss it out. Now you got two lead blockers and your wide receivers out there blocking that corner. You got Larry Fitzgerald like we do on the Cardinals. You got Brandon Marshall, Demarius Thomas, or even a tight end out there. You can go ahead and get a good block on the outside. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm reading the way the line sets up. In this situation, there's like a little gap in between, we can say here. There's a gap in between this defensive tackle and this defensive end here. So what I would do there is I would let the counter play and I would try to attack that gap right there with the counter, and vice versa. If the defense were to be flipped, you can see here, I would see that there's a gap on the right side and I would use the power O, as we can go here, L1 for the power O, and I would attack that gap. And then at almost any time, as long as they're not bunched up against the middle, you can obviously always throw the toss in there. I mean the dive in there. I still call it the toss. Can we flip the defense? There we go. So with it here, we're going to go back to the normal way, the counter here. So the counter here is kind of like, obviously if you're an ultimate team and you got a lead the way offensive lineman, that would definitely help out. But here essentially what you do is you make reads. Obviously this is an easy situation where you can just dive. Hopefully I'm probably going to go and change into a 4-3, so that way it's more likely that they're going to play realistic defenses. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the 4-3 on defense. That way they're not going to come on in quarters on the goal line or whatever it is. So now we got random 4-3. Here I could probably attack anywhere. This is the 4-3 right now, and I could go up the middle. I could probably run power O, and I could also probably run the counter. Go ahead, power out. It's just a good formation because everyone's like, obviously it's a strong tight formation. So you got some beef out there. You got a two tight ends, you got a fullback, and everyone's in a tight formation. And you're just not, since we got the counter play out there, you're not just focused on just attacking the right side. So your opponent's probably going to try to overload the right side, and then you will go ahead and run that play. So coming to some special situations with the passing play, this is how I set the passing play up. You got the play action tight end cross here, and what I do is I'll streak the tight end Gresham on the strong side, so triangle of Y, select your tight end on the right, and then push the D-pad up. And then I will put Seals Jones on a curl route, then smart route it, triangle of Y, select Seals Jones, and then push the D-pad down, and then select him again, and then press R1 or right bumper if you're on Xbox to go ahead and put him on a curl route. And then I will block my running back and my fullback. You can put your fullback on a route if you want to. You can leave him on that flat route. It's actually pretty decent, but I normally block him. And then what I would do is streak Fitzgerald, triangle of Y, select Fitzgerald, and then push the D-pad up. And then I would motion Fitzgerald over to the left side. Now, there's also a way that you can motion this with a halfback toss. So don't think that it's just for this formation or just with it's not too leading, you know what I'm saying? It's not like a telegraph of your play. You can also run the counter and the toss and the dive while motioning Fitzgerald. So it's not like it's going to lead your opponent. And when he gets to the other side of the offense, you go ahead and hike the ball. So obviously I'm going to get sacked here because I'm not going to throw the ball, but we're going to go over the reads. The reads are pretty simple. It was man coverage, so the reads were a little bit tighter, but we go into the play here, and Obviously the low ball read, if you see him open here, you can throw him here. He may fall back, may fall a little bit forward, but he's going to get you right on the goal line. And even if he doesn't fall forward for a touchdown, the next play is going to definitely be a touchdown. And then at the other side, here you got high points to these two. These two are open, then you got high points here. We're going to go against a couple of zone coverages to go ahead and show you guys that real quick. So now we got the defense out here in cover 2. I'm going to go ahead and shade underneath like normal people would. Go ahead. Set up the defense. Let's get those blocking out there and go ahead and streak Fitzgerald. It's a very simple play, but if you mix this up with the runs that you run, it's going to be hard for your opponent to decipher. Situations like this, high pointed to your tight end, and you do the same thing to Fitzgerald on the other side. Fitzgerald, there's no one's in, as long as nobody's in between the path of Fitzgerald and your tight end, you can go ahead and hit Fitzgerald. I'm going to see if I can hit the Seals Jones here on his route. Otherwise, obviously, you can put the fullback on the route as well. You can put the fullback like on the hedge. You can leave him on that little table route. But you see here, Seals Jones is covered up, and then I would just throw it to Fitzgerald. You just make your read there. If nobody covers Seals Jones, you throw it to him. Simple like that. So I'm going to show you guys how I utilize that same motion with some of the other runs. So here in this situation, you look at the defense, you can probably run a halfback dive. So you can bring your wide receiver in and you can motion him at any point in his line and he'll help you out in run blocking. So this will prevent your opponent from always detecting what you're running. If you motion that wide receiver over, I mean, he may know you may not be running a toss to the right, but the other runs are in play. The power O is in play, the counter play is in play, the dive is in play, and the toss to the left is in play, and the play action pass is in play. So I'm going to show you guys what I normally use against the goal line. I already showed you guys the toss, but there's some other ways that you can run different plays against the goal line set. So here we have a goal line set. Obviously, like I showed earlier, the halfback toss out of this is actually pretty good. I'm going to try to use the defender to try to come over here. So you see here, he comes over here. I mean, even if he does get over there, I did take a poor angle because I had one hand on the controller. But you see here, you're going to have two lead blockers over here on the right side. It's obviously you can run the goal line toss, but I like this because you have more options out of this. If somebody has good goal line defense, they're going to be able to stop the QB sneak and they're going to be able to stop your toss. And even though I like this formation, it's just different than what everybody else is running. You got two lead blockers out there. If the user defender over here comes over here and he tries to loop around, you still have the fullback out here, and now he has to make a decision. Does he want to try to beat you to the outside, or is he going to try to come around that fullback? Either way, you just make a read. You got a good run blocker out here, you can still run to the outside. You have a lot of options in like 2 to 3 different lanes that you can run. But you can also flip the toss to the left side and motion over Fitzgerald and toss it to the left. Now it may look too obvious against the goal line, but you can obviously, oh, I actually ran a counter, which as you can see here, the counter still works against the goal line set, but it also will make it look like the play action pass and all the other plays that you're running. Your opponent won't know if you're, as long as you mix it up. Can I flip it to the left? What's going on? Can we flip it to the left? Okay, I mean, for some reason we weren't able to flip it to the left right there, but normally we should be able to flip that toss to the left, because that's what I was running earlier. Okay, so now we're able to flip the run to the left. I don't know why we weren't able to flip the run to the left, but all you got to do is flip the right stick to the left and you should be able to flip that run. Obviously, if you have a fast left guard, he's going to be able to help this run even better because he's able to get out there pretty quick and block that corner. Motion over Fitzgerald, wait till he gets outside of the corner, and then go ahead and run it. You're going to have to trust that your left guard is going to get out there, and then you have a one-on-one with the user into the end zone. A lot of times your wide receiver that you motion over will go ahead and hit that user linebacker, but just in case he doesn't, you know you got a fullback there, and it's just a one-on-one. Spin, juke, hesitate, do whatever kind of moves you want to do, but you wait till he gets outside there. Obviously, the faster your left guard is, the faster he's going to be able to hit that corner out there. And obviously, you can play around with the motion too. You can start to bring the motion in, hike the ball, and now you still got that toss to the left side. You know what I'm saying? You could do a whole bunch of different things with this, but you got the pass, then you got the run to the inside with the dive, run to the left with the counter, run to the right with the power, and then you got the toss to either side, and then you add the motion into it. As long as you don't do the same play 2 times in a row, your opponent shouldn't be able to catch on what you're doing as long as you make the right read. Now, if you're able to learn something for this video and it helps you out a little bit, let me know by hitting that like button. It helps the channel grow, shows that I'm making good content, and it will potentially show this to other people who could definitely use this. I appreciate you guys showing up. I'll see you guys around next time. I'm out.